Hey, good morning. So hope you all are doing fine. My name is Syed Waqar Uddin and I'm a senior system engineer at VMware. Today we'll be discussing a very unique topic of design versus deploy. Usually, it's all about software-defined data center. So when it comes to the deployment phase, it's about these products. All about vSphere, NSX, vSAN. And once you virtualize these three pillars, you will be able to automate things. You will be able to get more insights through operations and logs and everything. But the question is, by getting all of these VMware product, it means that do you have software-defined data center? Or there is more into it as well? So for the software-defined data center, I think there are two things. One is to design it properly, and after that, the deployment phase. And if there are some gaps in terms of design and deploy, maybe you will see, we all can relate this picture as well, that where what is the expectation of ours in picture 6 and what is, has been deployed there. So if there is a gap at that moment, the complete picture of software-defined data center can be different. So it means that design is very much important thing. So what VMware has done to design this after all of the products is, we have introduced VMware validated designs. So what are those? It is a prescriptive approach which a very comprehensive documentation as well. So it will give you standardized designs as well as those designs are proven, have multiple use cases, and as well as a very deep set of technical documentation that it has already been done, that you have architectural diagrams and everything. So VMware has done it. So I would urge that in terms of your design phase, you need to use that validated designs as well. So in my opinion, design is basically all about your making decisions, as per your environment, as per your risk, as per your constraints. So within the validated design documents, there are almost over 300 design decisions which will make sure that whatever you are designing is up to the mark and it will pay you. The question is that after the design process, we have a customer case study. And that customer is the largest private cloud customer in Pakistan, in the world as well, which is our own VMware One Cloud, where all of the HOLs has been hosted, hands-on labs and other things. So after the design process, traditionally, with all of these steps, it will take like more than 86 plus days for these teams to deploy that software-defined data center. So it is like 3+ months. And believe me, these teams are, they are professional VMware. They have VMware software, they have VMware documentation, support, and everything. So it means deployment of, it's also a very daunting task. So that's why now more and more organizations and customers, they are saying that when we are getting the same kind of, things from Amazon Cloud, VMware Cloud and Amazon, in a matter of hours, why would we spend a lot of days in our on-prem services? At that moment, I think we need to have a new approach. Once you will spend a lot of time in deployment, is it very easy to keep track of all of the design decisions? I think it would be very difficult because the people who are deploying things, they have to do the documentation as well, for all of the design decisions what they have taken at that period of time. So what we need another approach where VMware is telling us what to do. Number one thing, okay, you have a vision of software-defined data center. Okay, you bought some of the products of VMware software-defined data center like vSAN, NSX, and others. After that, VMware is also giving you a VMware validated design, best practices, everything. But the story isn't end here. Now you have to automate the deployment as well. Now you don't want to spend a lot of time in terms of deployment. So that's why here comes a proposition from VMware, which we call VMware Cloud Foundation. What is it doing at that moment? It is making sure that the complete stack of software is interoperable as well as it is enterprise ready. And the whole approach is prescriptive approach. It means that whatever the design, it will be coming up, and the deployment is, it will be as per your requirements, as per your use cases as well. So now deep dive into architecture overview of Cloud Foundation. What is it? It is a modern cloud architecture. The whole deployment process, what we have done, we have automated the deployment of ESXi, vSphere, vSAN, NSX controllers, everything out of it. On top of it, it will be integrated if you are planning to make your own private cloud. At that moment, it will be integrated with vRealize suite product as well. If you are going to have VDI in your environment, as you know that deploying VDI is also a very time-consuming task. At that moment, we have automated that as well. So the software building blocks for the Cloud Foundation is not, you know that vSphere, vSAN, NSX, vRealize, these are the same products. What we have done, we have coupled it with the life cycle management, day 0 automation, day 2 automation of the things as well. So now, for the Cloud Foundation part of it, if we'll start from the hardware side of the things, just imagine that you have, one rack servers. So first of the 4 nodes, it will be, you can start as minimum as from the 4 nodes as well. So you can have a small cluster where your management workloads will be there, your virtual infrastructure workload will be there, everything. But if you are planning to go with more servers, at that moment, you can add always the capacity to the rack, like 32 nodes in a single rack. Your first 4 nodes will become a management, special workload domain. It will be having all of the management workloads, virtual machines like vCenter servers, PSCs, everything within that 4 servers. And on top of it, you can add virtual infrastructure and as well as VDI workload domains on top. So it will be very easy at that moment that you can scale the same rack with the same design in an automated fashion up to 8 racks. It's total like 256 nodes, which are interconnected with the with the switches, so that you can scale your VDA, your workloads across the racks as well. Just imagine the work you have put in to do the things like in this big cluster if you are doing it manually. So if we'll go deeper into the management workload, so it's a special kind of workload which is taking care at the time of bring up. So you don't need to install anything. All of the VCF components are installed as per your design parameters. You just have to configure your design parameters. So you will be having a utility where it will be getting every components from you guys, and after that it will bring up automatically. So all of the infrastructure components like vCenter, PSCs, NSX controllers, vRealize operation manager, vRealize automation virtual machine. There's a lot of virtual machines are there where previously you will be deploying it on manual basis. Now it can be automated. So if you see a vSphere design overview here, so you can see that now you have a management workload, which is again containing all of your management virtual machines, and now you are least bothered about that. You can back up them, they are highly available, they are getting their resources every time, and whenever you want to include another workload, you will spin up a workload domain, and that workload domain have their own vCenter servers, own NSX manager servers, so, and that will be also residing into the management plane. So right now what it is doing, it is taking care of your day 1 jobs, because at that day 1 job, you are trying to spin up new clusters. At that moment, there are some decisions that whether this cluster should have their own vCenter servers, own NSX managers, what should be the design, what should I do at that moment in day 1 type of things. So this is, now you have automated. Now the design is enterprise-wide. Every time from any other administrator which are in your environment, they will be using the same approach. So it would be across the board, the design would remain same, and it is deployed as per your needs. So for day 0 and day 1, do we think that now software-defined data center is being complete? Because software-defined data center, why you have opted for software-defined data center? Because it is very agile, very easy to upgrade, very easy to manage. So the other part of the thing is software defined, the other patching and upgrading components of the thing. So when we go towards that, most of the products have releases over time. So if just imagine that you want to upgrade NSX and you want to get the new capability out of it, at that moment you will be having a dependency on ESXi server that you have to update that ESXi server as well. So most of the customers who are doing the upgrade and patching processes, the teams are also involved in operations as well. So it would be too much difficult for them to plan for the patching and upgrade part, and as well as to execute it while rather servicing the the production clusters as well. So it would be a difficult task for them. So here, SDDC Lifecycle Manager comes into play, and it will take care of every versioning of the other products, and VMware Cloud Foundation teams are there who are testing that, okay, these versions are compatible or not, and they will be releasing their own updates for VMware Cloud Foundation. So what you need to do, you don't need to plan, you need to execute, say how you want to do it. So everything has already been tested. So this is the Lifecycle Manager, which is also covering the deployment, configuration, policy-based management, patching and updating. So now you have a software-defined data center which is completely automated from day zero, doing automation in day one, and as well as it is giving you benefit on day two operations as well. Now your software-defined data center can heal, it can get patches, it can get security vulnerabilities on time as well. So to my last slide, so I've shown you this customer case study for the day zero. It took like 86 plus days. So why it matters for VMware Cloud Foundation, we tested with the same team, with the same kind of cluster, with VMware Cloud Foundation, and we came up like the whole deployment has been done within a week. So this is the power, that is what we are talking about. And this is my last slide. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.